I can hear everything you say.
Ooh. Oh, how cool is that?
All right, so speaking of muting you, I'm going to mute you now, just so I don't have to hear everything you say.
It's just like you.
Yep, I know. I want the stage to myself. All right, go ahead and stand up again. We've been working on inflammatory work. So we're going to be doing a series that we're going to do head to hips today. And so we're going to do a lot of upper body work, finishing kind of with a restorative back of thigh shear. So make sure you have a large soft ball. Make sure you have your roller and make sure you're ready to go. So go ahead and drop the ball on the ground. And make sure that you are at a comfortable standing position. So you don't want to be too close because that's a kind of a hard balance point, and you don't want to be too far because then it's just too wide and kind of silly. So have those feet parallel to each other as best you can in a comfortable distance apart. Bring your head and chest up and just restore the breath. Just kind of ease back into your breath. Good. And then notice how your feet are touching the ground. Notice if you can feel the different toes or if one toe kind of feels like it's more pulled up. Notice if your knees feel caved in or maybe pulled open. And then from your head to your shoulders, shoulders to your hips, hips to your heels. Notice if you feel like you are stacked, one part on top of the other, or if you feel more like a Jenga game, kind of different parts moving different directions. Good, go ahead and lift up all 10 toes. Feel that shift in balance and weight. Drop all 10 toes and just kind of notice how your body recenters itself. And then go ahead and open your eyes. Let's start with the large softball. So yeah, go ahead to the door. That'd be nice. All right, go ahead and start with the large softball. Place the ball underneath your right or your left foot. And just begin to shift nice and evenly. Shift that body weight side to side. You're kind of deciding whether or not the pressure is tolerable at all. Take your hands off of your hips and just let your arms just relax by your sides. I know it's easy to catch you guys with your hands right on those hips like you've got something to say. Go ahead and pause. Take your arms up and overhead. Take your arms back down. Roll your shoulders forward and roll your shoulders back. Let's move the ball to position point 2 at the big toe and then press down. Good. And come up and press down and press down. See if you can notice the knuckle pushing back up towards you. Press down and press down. So one of the only big compressions that we're doing, move to 3A, which is at the far corner of the arch, right before the ball comes out. And then move to 3B, which is before the knuckle of the big toe, press down. And then to outside edge to position point 4. You can start by seeing it and then go ahead and hide that ball underneath there. And then position point 5, make sure that you've got that ball right where the arch meets the heel. So we're going to begin to move that ball side to side, kind of noticing how the ball is just moving side to side. You may even feel kind of like a pushing and a pulling to the tissue. And just breathe. Good. Now just take one pass back of that glide all the way back towards your heel and then back to the arch. And then put a little bit more weight. Lift the toes and then just flex and point to those toes. Almost like you're making fists with your toes. And then pause. Good. Move the ball to the big toe knuckle and rinse back. And then move the ball to the big toe knuckle, or the second toe, and rinse back. And hands by your side and rinse back. And rinse back. And rinse one more time. Rinse back. And then just friction on that foot. Good. All the way around. Good. And then go ahead and pause, and we'll just take the ball to the left foot. Place the ball right through the center of that left foot, shifting side to side again. Just kind of feel your body weight. You can close your eyes and just kind of feel that sway. That sway is good for the body. The body wants to have an even pressure on the both sides. Pause. Try to find even weight on both feet. Take your arms up. Take your arms down. Roll your shoulders forward and roll your shoulders back. Good. Take the right foot back, move the ball to, this is where it becomes the hokey pokey, right? Take your right foot back, take your left foot front. Good. And then just go into those position points. Position point 2 on the third toe, 2 on the fourth toe, and position point 2 on the fifth toe. Take that ball to where the arch meets the heel, hide the ball, press down. And then to the knuckle, the soft tissue behind the knuckle. And then position point 4 on the outside edge. And then right there, position point 5, press down. Put a little bit more weight and begin to move that ball nice and slow back and forth. So we all come to our movement at our own space and our own time with our own individual histories and so on and stories. This morning working with a gal who has MS, she had fallen this weekend, and we just went slower than normal, and we sat and we did, and we just felt the ball. I had her put 2 balls underneath her feet, and so she could just feel that pedaling, and then she took her time more, and we did a practice walking, and her assessment was a walking, move the ball back to your heel, and move the ball back to the arch. But everybody comes with their own history and their own story to this. So allow the story to unfold as you need to. Maybe you need to spend a little bit more time after the session is over and go back to some areas. Maybe you need to spend more time in one position. Go back over those position point press. Move the ball so the heel can be on the ground and flex and open the toes like you're making fists with the toes. Can your big toe go on top? Can your big toe go on bottom? Can your big toe stay about the same height? My left big toe tends to kind of do its own thing. So it's important for you to not just say to yourself, I can or can't for any one reason. You can or can't because you choose you can or can't. So allow yourself to come into this movement, this practice, just from where you are right now. Do 2 more and last one. And then move back and forth. And I will say this, after the session was over today, she actually was moving much better, almost pain-free. Good. And go ahead and pause, bring those feet back together, parallel those feet just like when you started, bring those hands back by your sides. And just notice then the position of your feet, your knees, your hips, and notice that stacking of your shoulders over your hips, over your heels. If that Jenga is still there, lift up all 10 toes. See if that balance is a little bit more even. And then drop all 10 toes. Good. Open your eyes. So rebalancing or resettling can be just great for the nervous system at any time, day or night. Nice before you go to bed. Quiets the body before you go to bed. Or maybe if you're having a hard time and you wake up in the middle of the night, it's also a great way to put yourself kind of back to sleep as well. So let's start with the roller onto the ground, and we're going to put the roller behind us, and the roller is going to go at the head. So have your knees bent. You want the hairline to be on the roller, and then the rest of the roller to be above the head or on the majority of the head. Hands can rest back, be up by your side, whatever works best. And you're just going to begin to lift the chin and then drop the chin. I want you to think of length in the neck and ease of movement. So there's no pressure backwards. All of the movement is just nice and easy. Just move that head back and forth. And we're going to do this a couple more times because I made it almost the mortal melt error of not doing a rest assess before. But since we did kind of an assessment standing up, we will kind of do a different kind of a rest assess. It is funny, after I've done a second class, I kind of like go into like, oh, I've already done that, and I sometimes forget, which I shouldn't. Don't tell my boss. One more time, bring your chin up, and then drop your chin down, nice and long. See if you can even settle your chin up against the sternum. Bring that chin back up again, and then tip your chin over to your right shoulder, and then pull, almost like you're kind of scrubbing the back of your head and your hair against the roller. So you're not just picking your head up and rolling your head from side to side. It's almost as if you've pinned your hair into the roller and you've turned your head to the right and then turn your head to the left. So you're kind of dragging your head across the roller. A couple more times, just side to side. Good, and then pause, and then we'll do that figure 8 on the back of your head. Again, you may need to hold the roller, especially when you do a figure 8 pattern. The roller wants to move. Breathing, just allow yourself to settle in. Good, and then pause. Good. From here, you're going to pick the chin up towards the ceiling and then pull the chin down, thinking of having like a string attached to the crown of your head, kind of right where all the skull parts come together, and draw your chin right to your sternum, kind of getting length. So you're getting a tensional pull against the back of the neck, and then gently lift the chin up and then pull, as if you're not dropping the chin, but the back side of your head is elongating. So you're getting length in the back of the neck. Rib cage down. And again, lift the chin gently and then elongate the neck. Get pull and let the chin settle into the sternum. A couple more times, lift the chin and drop the chin. And once more, inhale, lift the chin and drop the chin. Good, just hold and get that length, settle those shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath and exhale. Good, go ahead and take the roller out from underneath your head. Let's do a real quick rest reassess. Even though we didn't do a basic rest assess to begin with, extend those legs all the way out. Arms are wide, kind of away from the body. And you may notice even here your neck feels kind of fluffed up a little bit. But we're going to take a moment and notice the weight of your shoulders, those areas that stuck stress loves to live. I want you to notice if the shoulder weight feels evenly weighted, or do you notice that all your weight is up at your shoulders? That's a whole redistribution of that weight into your neck, which is going to put your head at a disadvantage. Maybe set you up for a headache, even upper back and shoulder issues. Then to your diaphragm, noticing if you've got that wailing back arch, as if you're almost articulated off the ground, but it may just feel what's going on inside. And then from there, the pelvis, notice if the pelvis feels level to the ground, or do you feel like all the weight's sitting right in your sacrum, or are your cheeks more evenly just weighted right and left side? Do the back of your hamstrings touch, and do your feet feel like they're evenly settled out? Now I want you to focus in at that diaphragm area from your rib cage to your pelvis. And I want you to really notice that. That is a big indicator of both upper body and lower body if you're going to have more stability in the pelvis and the lower back using the core, or instability, or more stability in the shoulders and neck, or instability. When that back is in arch, you're putting a lot of pressure up at the neck. You're also disproportionately putting pressure in the lower back. Now, which one it decides to go to really depends on a lot of other factors, but notice this midline. It's a big, interesting area. Even when we're going to work with the neck and upper back, this midline should kind of start coming down and really focusing in here. This is a large area, of course, of your diaphragm, your ribs, and all your internal organs, which again can be under stress throughout the day, from the way we sit to what we eat to our breathing patterns. So let's go ahead and slide those feet in so the shins are vertical. Take that roller once again, and we're going to go up head to hips on the roller. So that we're going to do a rebalance sequence on the roller head to hips. So bring yourself up, head back, making sure that you're touching the roller on the bottom and the top. Your head's not kind of hanging off on either side, and begin to do gentle rocking right and left. Now you can let the arm come off the ground, or you can keep the arms kind of in contact. But remember, you're part of the roller. It's not rolling underneath you like some sort of conveyor belt. Shift over to your right and shift to your left. Breathing. Good. Go ahead and pause. Let's take those hands right to the belly and begin to tuck and tilt the pelvis. Leveling the pelvis as you come into the tilt, and then tucking the pelvis. Make sure the rib cage is down. You don't want to feel that head move. And because we've just released some of the neck structure, you may have more mobility in that neck, but I don't want you to allow that head to nod. You're not forcing it to not nod, but just notice if you can just move from your pelvis and not move your head while you move the pelvis. Breathing. Good. Go ahead and pause. Take your hands to your rib wall. Breathe into the side wall of those ribs. Exhale, and narrow up that waist. Inhale, expand, exhale, and contract. Once more, inhale to expand, and exhale. Reach those arms straight out towards your knees, fingertips touch, and then pull your fingers away from each other. Make sure you're not raising up into the shoulders. Keep those arms low, almost to the line of your belly, and then close those fingers again right over your navel. Pull the fingers away as if there's something tacky touching each one of the fingers, and the fingers are being drawn back towards one another, and then close the palms or the fingertips, and again pull away, and then come back together, and one more time pull away, and then just bend the elbows. So you're in this big wide W. Then from that W, you feel that tensional pull maybe on the biceps or into the shoulder on one side or the other. Reach the arms then straight out, not lifting your arms up toward your shoulders, but straight out. See how far you can get away from the sternum. Then bend your elbows as if you could bring your elbows underneath your back. And then reach those arms out and away from the sternum. And then bend those elbows, draw those shoulders. Feel your body just draping over the roller. And then reach out and then pull in. One more time. Reach out nice and long, and then bring those hands back together again. Bend the elbows, touch the fingers to the top of the shoulders, and let's begin a double elbow circle. So focusing specifically in on those shoulders. Notice as you do that double circle, do the arms evenly move together, or do you find that one arm does more work, kind of wants to move faster, or just one arm seem more clicky, or is there any pain? If there's pain, you're not looking for it, so you want to do less of a circle, so make your circle more narrow. If you find that you're clicking and popping in some areas, again, you can make your circle more narrow. Good. One more time, circle up and around and together. Good. And from here, just extend the arms, fingertips to the ground, and then lift that chin up. Get long in those fingers. You may feel that pull all the way into the thumb, maybe the index finger or the pinkies. And then turn your head to the right shoulder as you reach through the left index finger. Feel that length from the left upper corner inside the ear all the way down into the fingers. Inhale, head is center, and over to your left. Reach through that right arm. Get long on that right side. Inhale, head is up. One more time to your right. Look over your right. Reach long through your left. Back to center and look over your left. Reach through that right arm. And then head back to center. Good. Just hold and then release those arms. And slide the right leg or left leg out, and then lay back on your back. Good. Arms out wide. Good. Feel the body. Maybe you're feeling almost totally settled into the ground. Maybe the back feels more stable, but maybe you still have that high loft in the mid ribs. Or how about the pelvis? Does the pelvis seem like you're sitting on the cheeks, or do you feel still weighted into the pelvis? Take a nice deep breath and release the breath. All right, let's take those feet in so the shins are vertical again. Roll yourself to one side and bring yourself up. Let's take the roller behind the back up toward the middle of the back. So you're right just below the shoulder blades. Arms reach out. Just kind of make sure you're in the right position. Then lift your pelvis and tuck the pelvis. Take the hands behind the head. We'll do a rib length assessment and lower that back over the roller. Remember, you're not releasing the pelvis and you're not releasing the lower ribs. You're just lowering the head over the roller without tipping the chin up. Then from here, let's just find some length. Tilt to your left side. Maybe even let your left arm rest on that roller and just hold and breathe into the right wall of the rib cage. Even take your left hand and reach across and feel the width of your breath moving into the rib wall. Make sure your head's not tipped back. And then take that left hand back, head to center, and then let's go to the right. So watch that the head's not twisted or tilted. It's just moving along with the movement, that arcing of the rib cage. Breathe. Take the right hand, reach around for that left rib wall and open that chest. Inhale, come center. Take your hand back. Let's do one more time to your left and one more time to your right. Good, back to center. Let's move the roller all the way up to the very top of the shoulders, where the shoulders almost meets the cervical spine. And you're gonna lift those hips up. Now what I want you to do is I want you to push with your legs as you slowly bring your head up. At some point your butt is scuffing on the ground and then you stop when you kind of get to lower mid back. Then we're gonna or mid ribs. Reset those feet. Pull your shoulders to the top of the roller. As you push into the roller, go slow, go slow, go slow, go slow. Scuff those hips against the ground. Almost straighten out your legs. You're kind of in a scooped position here. And then reset the feet just to flat. Pull once again your shoulders to the top of the roller. And then again, drop the hips as you lift the head, pushing slowly, scuffing the butt along the way and allowing those hips to come down. Breathing, pause, and then return your feet back to. Reset your back where it was before. Take those arms out. Make sure your pelvis is tucked under. You're in the right position. And then again, let's test that rib length. Again, are you just letting your ribs just splay up, or can you get more space and notice just how your upper back is doing? Bring your head up a little bit, tilt again to the left, and notice the left side. And then center, and then tilt to the right. Maybe that feels a little less stiff. And then back to center. Shift your hips to the right, let your right knee drop, take your right arm out, or left, whichever way is easier for you to see. And then you're gonna roll that shoulder up and over. So make sure you have enough space, the roller's far enough down underneath your shoulder blade that you have enough movement available to you. If the roller's too high underneath your armpit, you won't really even be able to move the elbow. Do a couple more. Last one. Good. Then take your hand behind your head and you're gonna roll, making kind of a pillow with both hands, and then to the outside of the shoulder. Lift the rib cage up, drop the ribs down, lift up, drop down, lift up, drop down. One more time, lift up, drop down. We're gonna lift the rib cage up, take your left hand behind your head, and then just up and down with that right elbow. So you're giving kind of a direct shear to the outside of that shoulder. And then pause, roll yourself back to center. We're gonna flip to the other side. So I'm gonna turn just to make it easier. Sorry for on the video, on the Zoom. Good, again, just make sure you're kind of mid ribs, then drop your hips over. You've got your left hand now out in front, right hand behind your head, and just bring that left elbow up and over and up and back. Do about 4 more, and 3, and 2. Feels good. I've done this now. This is my second time doing this today, and now that shoulder's working real nicely. And last one. Good. Good, take that arm out there, bend the elbow, roll to the outside of your shoulder. Remember, you're making a pillow, and you're just gonna lift the ribs, drop the ribs. Lift the ribs, drop the ribs. And basically what you're doing with your hands is you're just supporting your head. And then down, lift the ribs up, drop in. One more time, lift the ribs up, hold. And then I'm just putting my hand behind my head, and I'm just kind of making kind of a upright and down motion of my elbow. Good. Now that we've got both sides done, let's roll onto the back, and we're going to rinse the upper back again. So hands behind the head, lift those hips up nice and high, and again, push. As your head comes up, your hips drop, you scuff those hips for a little bit, reset one more time, lift those hips up right to the top of the shoulder. Don't push the head forward, just allow the rolling of the spine to come up. Let's recheck that rib length. Tuck the pelvis, lay over the roller. Nice. And then tilt to your left, and then tilt to your right. And notice if you have more space in the side walls. So there we kind of directly affected kind of the ribs themselves, the back, the structure. Now we're going to kind of flip to our stomach, and we're going to get on the roller on the stomach, and we're going to kind of get on it just like we do when we do our when we go on our back. So kind of start on one side, bring the roller close to you, and then just kind of come up and over the roller. Now the key is not to feel all the weight of the roller at the xiphoid process, which is that very base of your sternum. You want your hands down as best you can, and then maybe your chin goes over the roller. Toes can point back, toes can curl under, whatever is more comfortable for you for weight and pressure. So again, make sure that you can kind of feel your sternum to the front of the collarbone on the roller, not the lower part as much. So you're going to inhale and just exhale. You're rolling back and forth. So gentle rocking, just like we do when we're on our back or on our front, and you're allowing the body to get used to the weight of the roller underneath you, just like we do with the ball on the hands and on the feet. Good, so your chin's just over the roller. Go ahead and pause right in the center. Push your chin slightly into the roller, so kind of like you're hooking your chin there, but just make sure that the shoulders are away from the ears, and you're going to inhale, and just let the body settle as you inhale, which seems odd that you're not going to pull away. So inhale, and let the body settle, and then exhale, and push yourself away. And then inhale, and get close, and then exhale, almost pushing yourself away. Do again, inhale, kind of widening out that chest, and then exhale. One more time, inhale, lower yourself in, and exhale, push yourself away. Good. We're going to come off the roller just by rolling your left arm up. Come onto your back. We're going to do one more rinse down the back. So again, we'll set that roller up so the upper back is on the roller. Your hands are behind your head. Lift those hips up nice and high, and then push the back into the roller as you straighten both legs. Reset the feet. Lift the hips up. Push the feet as you lower the hips back down. Good, that should feel really nice. Good, go ahead and shift your weight off, and let's do another reassessment. The reassessment now, so you've worked the structure, the bending, the side ribs, and so on, and then you got to get it inside more, the pleura. There's kind of think of a sac inside of the lungs that's kind of creating a holder for the lungs themselves, and that's inside and underneath the sternum, and that's what we're kind of releasing the tension of. That's where we're releasing the inflammation, the pressure. So we did the structure on the outside to give some mobility, and then the physical structure on the inside, the pleura on the inside of the rib wall, to help the lungs move better, to free up the diaphragm for a little bit more space as well. So from here, just let those legs rest. Arms are down by your side, head is back. And again, notice that space between your ribs and your pelvis. Maybe you just feel like you can take a big breath in now. Exhaling. Maybe that head now feels rested to the ground. The shoulders feel even and neutral. The pelvis might feel better. They might feel just now like, hey, what's about some love for me? So notice what's going on, and let's bend the knees, and we're going to take that roller all the way to the back of the legs. So you've got the roller underneath the legs, and find a spot that's maybe about mid distance between your hips and your knees, and we're going to begin back of thigh shear. So remember, shearing is a pinning. So if I took my fingers and I moved my skin, now I'm not moving my fingers up and down my arm, I'm moving the skin. That's a pinning, or that's a shearing. It's a massage technique, and this is a self-care, almost like a hands-off body work. So if somebody's hands aren't on you, they're off you. Your body is doing the work for itself. So turn those toes out, turn those toes in, and let's feel that dragging of the tissue against the roller, that pulling of the muscle up against the bone. Good. Do one leg. Now just do your right leg in and out. And then just do the other leg. Left leg in and out. Good. And then just pause and let your legs rest over the roller. Now the beauty of the back of thigh shear really is that just releasing. It just releases the pelvis a little bit more. Slide the feet in just enough to move the roller out of the way, and then once again just let those legs go, and we'll do a final reassess. Just feel the body settle into the ground. Feel the shoulders and notice the head, the shoulders. Pay close attention to that rib wall between the ribs and the pelvis. How's that back arch feel? Do you feel like you can expand a little bit easier with the breath? And then that pelvis, oh, it should just feel nice and level. Now remember, you can always go back and do some more. You can always return back and even finish with a foot treatment if you'd like. But give yourself the opportunity to start noticing how each treatment affects you. Connect in, respond. Feel the body taking a shape, taking a new way of releasing that stress, of releasing that hold in the body. Good. Go ahead and slide your feet in so the shins are vertical. Roll yourself to one side. And let's bring you up. And we are done. Very nice, guys. Very good. Yay! I will see you guys later. Hopefully you're watching this on a replay.